Welcome, welcome, welcome for the first time to Algebra 2. This is the introduction video. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you need, what you should do, my background, stuff like that, all within a short period of time. So this class is Algebra 2. It's a free YouTube class. You can either use the videos just as a resource for your other classes if you need a different way of hearing something explained, or I really did this for homeschoolers to be able to have a high school level class for free online. I've been tutoring homeschoolers for a while and I'm going back to public school, so I've decided to make my lessons available on YouTube for free for the four math classes I was tutoring in: pre-algebra, algebra 1, geometry, and algebra 2. So this is the text I use. It's an older public school book. It's McDougall-Littell Algebra 2. The ISBN, so you can get one, is in the comments. And 2001 or 2004 edition is fine. They're pretty much the same. And the reason why I like this book better than the new edition of this book, there is one, is it's better organized, and the calculator labs are just really easy to follow. So it's a great book. Another math teacher friend of mine recommended it, and I love it. I've taught out of so many books over the years because I teach math and science, and this series of algebra books is my favorite. It's right up there with Dr. Hewitt's conceptual physics. All right. They come in different states. See, this one says California Teacher's Edition. It doesn't matter. You can get any state. And it's for the moms, you really don't need the Teacher's Edition, because what I do is I'm going to assign the homework in the comments, what I suggest for you to do, and I'll only give you the odds that have the answers in the back. The only thing extra that the Teacher's Edition offers is the answers to the test at the end of the chapter, and the answers to the evens, like, 2, 4, 6, 8. So you might want to get a teacher's edition. They're about $25 online, especially if you get like a California edition. The other thing you can get, which you might want to buy, is the assessment book. The thing that's better about this is these are the tests, but they're different than the test at the end of the chapter. The tests at the end of the chapter are harder. They're a lot harder. And in the assessment book, it's got 3 levels of test: A, B, and C. A is the easiest, B's in the middle, C is really advanced. So when I was teaching this to homeschoolers, excuse me, I think I need some water. Sometimes we maybe didn't cover it as well and we needed to move on, we were running out of time. I'd give the kids the easier one, the A. But normally I would give them the B, very rarely the C. But it just gives you a flexibility with 3 levels of test where the student can still show that they know it good enough without it being so hard. The A level test is fine. The B is a good middle one, and you might, if you have a kid who's just brilliant and bored, give them the C level test. So I like this, having this, and it has the answers in it too. Now also for the test, there is a Facebook group. It's a private, secret something Facebook group, and on it, and you can request to be a member, there are the tests with the answers and more. There'll be worked out problems and stuff like that. So you might want to try joining the Facebook group. Now, I'm saying this for the year 2020, 2021. I don't know if this Facebook group will go on forever. I'm not running it. Another homeschool mom's running it for me. So as long as she's still got it going, it'll be there. Okay, so you're going to need a TI-84 graphing calculator, absolutely. And I know some of you moms are going, no, they're going to do it like I did in the 80s without a calculator. The calculators are allowed now in college and on the SAT and the ACT, so you've got to let your kids learn how to use it. They are not intuitive, but so you got to spend time training it. Back in the 80s and 90s, 80s when I was in school, 90s when I first started teaching, we didn't have these calculators until the latter part of my teaching, and the teachers would give the kids less problems and more time to do them. Now they expect them to have these calculators, so they give you way more problems and less time to do it, so you're not going to finish. You're going to make a bad grade if you don't get trained on this calculator. And like I said, it is not intuitive. You need to do every single calculator lab, and if you didn't have me for Algebra 1, you need to go back and do those too. Every calculator lab. And so for this class, the way I assign the homework is on Fridays, all you do is your calculator lab. So you end up without so much homework, and that's, great, because homeschoolers are busy and they don't have time to do everything. So also, when you do your homework, I want you to do a problem and then go look at the answer. Do a problem, look at the answer. I don't want you to do a whole page of math wrong, putting it into your memory the wrong way to do it. So keep one thing over on the answers and flip back and forth, flip back and forth. If you're getting it wrong, try to be MacGyver and go figure it out, the right way to do it. My phone's making noises. Well, be sure you watch the videos. I've gone to these videos this summer, the summer school, and I had kids trying to do all the work without the videos, and guess what? They didn't do it. They failed the test. They did terrible. You've got to watch the videos. The videos are not long. Go watch them, and you might have to watch them multiple times, and you need to pause it. Like when I do a problem, pause it, and then you do the problem and make sure you can get the answer, and then push play again. So do not rush through them. It's one level of skill to watch me do the problem. It's a whole different level for you to be able to do it. So next thing is, if you don't want to buy, join the Facebook group or buy the teacher's edition or buy the test. You could just take the test at the end of the chapter and check your answers with these algebra checking sites. They're free. There's one called Mathway, one called Wolfram Alpha. Also, if you watch my video and you still don't understand, you can go watch the Khan Academy videos, but I really encourage you to do that as a last resort, and this is why. There are 10 ways to do just about every algebra problem, and certainly Algebra 2. And if I teach you one way and you watch Khan Academy do it another way, and your book might be slightly different, I have found that kids at the end know no ways. They end up with nothing in the end. Like they kind of understand everything and then it's just gone. So I want you to learn. I'm going to teach with consistency and repetition. I just say the same things over and over again. I used to teach high school science, and I taught honors chemistry and physics to 11th and 12th graders. And when they came to my class, they never knew the math they needed to be able to do the science. So I always had to teach math first, and I would just fuss. What are those math teachers doing? They're certainly not teaching math. I wish I got paid to not teach math. I was very smarty. Oh, that phone's still making noise. I'll try to make it be quiet. Okay, so I was very smarty. Well, now that I've been a homeschool mom and taught all the way through, and with math, I've gone K through 12, did the whole thing. I know what's wrong. I know it wasn't the math teacher's fault. It wasn't really the book's fault, and it really wasn't the school's fault. It was the fact that every single year kids have a different teacher, and every single year they have a different book. And the teachers will also teach every lesson like it is equally important when it's not. So at the end it's just too much, it's too confusing, and they forget all of it. And that's why I had to always teach math before science. So if you'll do all 4 of my math classes together, and I know some of y'all are in Algebra 2 and it might be too late for you, you will hear me teaching it the same way straight for 4 years, and you end up with consistency and repetition. And I've done this for years, and the kids come out actually knowing their math, doing great in the ACT, the SAT, college entrance exams, college algebra. I've had so many kids come back to me and go, Miss Blackburn, college algebra was easy. I knew it all. You taught it to us already. I just made A's. It was terrific. Well, see, that's not the usual experience for public school kids because of that lack of consistency and repetition. So they don't really get it to go into their long-term memory. So I promise this will work if you do it. The tapes had real good success over the summer. All the kids who did it had straight A's. So I think it'll be all right. Also, I throw in songs and dances, and you think you're crazy. Now, the reason why is that When I learned all of this, when I started learning algebra, I had a huge concussion. I owned a horse and I was riding my friend's horse and I got this terrible horse riding concussion. I saw double for a month and I really could not learn for a year. Nowadays, they would have sent me home for a year. It's what they do with that bad of a concussion. But they didn't know back then in the olden days. So I just went on to school and was trying to learn algebra with concussion. And I just remember looking around all the other kids going, how do they all understand this? And I don't. Because I'd always made straight A's, top of the class, until the concussion. So I had to come up with all of these devices to help get it in my long-term memory. But now it turned out as a blessing because I've been able to help all these other hundreds of kids get it in their long-term memory who don't have concussions. And it's not all that bad. So play along, sing and dance, do the hand claps, and all of that will help make those little hooks to move it from short-term memory to long-term memory. I'm going to be releasing videos weekly this first year. I'm not going to just dump them all because I'd like to make some money. And according to my kids, I need to have constant content. So I'm going to be just releasing them a little at a time throughout the year. But I'd also like you to like, share, and subscribe. Like all the other YouTubers, because I would like to make some money. I've made all these classes free, and but I made them free to bless the homeschool community and others, because I'm going back to public school and I want to leave something for my homeschoolers, because I've had kids who have been with me for years and they are not happy that I'm going back to public school, but it's just what I need for me and my family at this season of my life. So I just want to leave this for you guys, the classes, and this is a little bit about how to use them. Alright, so come back for the next video. It will be Algebra 2, Chapter 1, Section 1. And every time I'm going to try to give you a subliminal message so that you'll start believing it, that math is great. See you next time.